What's going on, guys? In today's video, I am going to show you guys how to achieve an ultra gory, realistic look on your models. That's what I'm calling this style. I'm going to call it ultra gore. I'll show you an example model here for what we're going for. So this is what we're going for with the ultra gore. I'll move my hand. This took about 12 hours to do, from sprue to done. So you can get the models done relatively quickly and have them looking, done to a pretty high level for tabletop play. That's what I'm going to use these for, at least. Alright, so what we're going to do for this video is we're going to do fleshy tones on a wing. And we'll do a bit of the bone as well. I'll show you guys how to do that. So we'll finish up this final section here of the wing that I've been painting. And I will show you guys every little step of how I achieve this beautiful gory look. Alright, so what you're going to need, we don't even need about in black. Let me put the cap back on this. So you're going to need some Citadel plastic glue. You're going to need corn red, which is what you prime the model with. And then Screaming Skull is the secret sauce for this little recipe that I've concocted. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to use... Oh, and this is the other thing. You want a really crappy frayed brush, because that's what's going to give you the grainy, ripply, muscly texture that just looks gross and sinewy. So we're going to use a crappy brush. This is my go-to. I love this brush. Then we're going to use a dry brush for highlighting. Then I also have two Artis Opus brushes, a 1 and a 2, that I use for the finer details. Okay, oh, and then I also have my crappy brush for the secret sauce at the end of the video, which I will show you guys. If you're smart, you probably guessed already what the secret sauce is, but because I showed it, but you'll see at the end. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to take our Screaming Skull, and I've started this section by putting on one layer of Screaming Skull, but I will show you guys right from the start. Sorry, I need to make sure I keep this in focus. This is my 4th time filming this. Ugh. Okay, I got this though. I'm going to show you guys right from the start how to achieve this look here. So no starting halfway, no starting 3/4 of the way. We're going right from the start here. Oh, except I primed it corn red, so... Alright, but that's all I did. I just primed it with a thick layer of corn red. And the reason I use a thick layer is because later on in the video you'll see why. If you don't have a thick layer, your paint might peel off actually. And all the hard work you've done, it'll get erased. But I can show you how to fix it, but let's not fix it. Let's just make sure we get it on there. Get it on there good. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with our Screaming Skull. And I'm going to use my wet palette here. And we're just going to start brushing with the grain structure of the model. And you want the glue to be wet, because you want to be able to manipulate the glue on the model. Okay. And you can see already, with this frayed brush, we're getting a really gross, grainy texture. Which some people might even be happy with just leaving it there, honestly. You don't even have to do anything else. You can just use a bad brush and layer on some Screaming Skull and you're done. But we're going for ultra gore, so we're going to take it a step further. And the other thing I'm doing is I'm making sure to leave the edges of the wing red, just like I've done down here on these sections. So it looks like the wing is sort of stitched onto the body and kind of bleeding from the bones, just to look even more gross, as if it wasn't gross enough already. But that's why we're doing that. So let's just finish up this section of the wing here. And when it looks very opaque, but it's actually very translucent, this Screaming Skull. So you'll see when it dries, it's really going to go a pinky color. Okay, we'll get get that on, and then I'll just brush the bone part of the wing as well. I'm telling you, this crappy brush is awesome. What is it, so you guys know? It's a Royal Langnickel. I don't even know what that is. And I need to paint this bone as well. Okay. And get some paint up there. Alright. Now what we're going to do, so these two spots are at exactly the same point right now. So I could work on either spot. I'm going to work on both just to finish off the wing and show you guys so that you could see every step with, you know, between the bones and how to do the bones and how to make it all look good. And then you'll be able to see a finished product at the end of the video too, which I think is going to be awesome. I mean, the back of the wing still needs to be painted, but yeah, we'll show you the inside of the wing all done, gross and gory. So what we're going to do next is we're going to jump to this section of the wing, and we're going to go to our dry brush with some corn red on it. So we're going to grab our dry brush, make sure she's good. I took way too much red. And then we're just going to work with the grain. And I wiped on too much, so I'm just going to smudge it with my finger. And always go with the grain when you're doing this, because the grain is key to this ultra gory look. I'm going to touch up this little red smudge with some Screaming Skull after because it's bothering me a little bit. I should have started with the holes in the wings first when my brush was that primed, because I want them to be about that red. But we'll do the holes in the wings now. Alright, so for the holes in the wings, we just have corn red on a dry brush, and we're just going to go with the grain and sort of paint those in there. Is that what we're doing? We're painting? Who would have known? And we just want to kind of do, it's almost like object source lighting where you're giving it that faint glow around it. We're just giving a faint red glow around the holes. You know what? Now that I've done the hole, it doesn't look as bad having that little blooper there. So I think I'm going to leave it. Is that better? You guys can see the little blooper there. Okay. So it's still too white in here. So what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to break out the number 2 with some corn red. And I'm just going to work downwards in a crosshatch pattern, just randomly. We still in focus? I hope we're in focus. That was the problem I had with the other 3 videos I did, is they weren't in focus. The commentary was good, the information was good, but they weren't in focus, and I figured you guys wouldn't appreciate that. I wouldn't appreciate that. So, 4th time's the charm, right? That's what they say? I'll just flip this around here. We're getting a really nice look here already. You can go, and this is where it's a personal preference. You can go more bleed out, you can go less bleed out, you can do no bleed out. It really depends on the look that you're going for with your model, and you should really make it your own, you know? You don't have to copy this to a T. You don't have to do exactly what I'm doing. I'm just showing you how to get a gritty, grainy texture that you can enjoy playing with after you watch this video. Or if you're painting along with me, that's awesome. High five. Alright, so we're just blending out right now to the claws with some red so that the claws look like they are sort of, you know, again, just bleeding and being ripped off the model. I really like that look, like things are being torn apart. on the model. It's just a really good look. And it's a really easy effect to achieve too. I hope I don't say that in a way that's discouraging if you try this and you don't get the effect right away. I have been painting for a really long time, but I've only gotten good, honestly, within like the last 3 weeks. So I've been painting for 5 years, on and off. I did 5 years of art school, and I've been painting models for about 5 years, and I just got good 3 weeks ago. So something just clicked where I was able to pull off these ultra gory looking models. You know, this week, honestly, was when I started doing them, and it just clicked. So it's pretty new to me too, and I wanna go on this journey with you guys to see where it goes and how gory we can really get the models to be, and I want to do it together with you guys. I think that would be awesome if we could all progress together and make just great looking minis. Alright, speech aside, what we're going to do next, I was just waiting for the paint to dry. I'm just kidding. What we're going to do next is we're going to use some corn red on the dry brush to highlight the bone. So let me just clean off this number 2. And we'll use the dry brush with too much red. And then we will just brush on some red. It's that easy. And look at that. You got a perfectly highlighted, bloody, bony looking, I don't even know, wing going on there. Alright. I think we're good on this section. It's exactly the color I want it to be, but you can see it still doesn't look quite like this section yet. I don't know if you can tell on camera, but in person there's a 10% difference. That last 10% is the Citadel plastic glue. So what we're going to do with this is we're going to put some on our palette. Then we're going to take our ultra crappy brush I showed you guys at the beginning of the video. We're just going to give it a quick clean because I use it for glue. And that's why you want an ultra crappy brush. And then we're going to dab it in our glue. And then we are going to dab it over what we just painted. And look at how much that pops already. That is the secret sauce to how I get my models to look ultra, ultra gory. And this is the step where you can pull the paint. You can see I did it right there. I went over it again and I pulled the paint off the model. So I'll show you guys how to correct that because I don't want to leave you guys hanging. But you can see instantly that is nasty looking. And all we did was dry brush on some Citadel plastic glue. And it stays like that forever. So that's truly the best part to me. Alright. So, and the best part about this step is it dries instantly. It's already dry. And we can paint over this. So we're going to go back to our Screaming Skull. And we're going to take our dry brush with some Screaming Skull. I think I said that already. And we're just going to gently work with the grain over the sections that we pulled the paint off. And that's too bright, so I will just wipe it off with my finger. And it's going to be too bright. We need to work it down again with the corn red. I know it's kind of a pain. There's a couple steps, but the glue's on now. 90% of it will still be glue when you're done doing this little patch. So I think it is all good. Did we even get red on the brush there? There we go. And let's just bring this back down. Sorry if my hand's in the way. I have to be more aggressive with the dry brush. Yeah, we'll use some more. And we're actually going to do one step that I forgot that'll help blend this out even more. So if you're panicking like me a little bit, here's one more step. What we're going to do is we're going to take our crappy brush with some Screaming Skull, and we're going to feather out. I just realized that this gory edge is, I actually really like how it looks, but to match the consistency of the other gory sections, we're going to put some Screaming Skull over it to tone it down just a little bit. And we're going to do a really wet layer of that. So what we're going to do, we're just going to go in with some Screaming Skull and just brush over that beautiful gory look. See, I shouldn't be brushing over this right now because we're going for ultra gore, but I gotta show you guys how to blend out the oopsies. And I always like to dab my brush on my wet palette before putting the direct color on the model. So you can see with this technique, just from this little video, is you really go back and forth a lot to get it just to sit where you want it to. So there is a lot of playing and a lot of back and forth with the model, but that's the fun. That's the fun of painting. Trying to get it the way you want it. And then when it finally works, so satisfying. Okay. Now we're just going one more time with the dry brush and some corn red, just to get our pink back. Always with the grain. That's the key for this. Always with the grain. And you can see it's fixed. It looks gnarly. I'm pretty happy with it. What about you guys? Let me know what you think down below in the comments, and let me know if you tried this technique too. I'd be really happy to see some photos of what you guys do, and if you guys create this ultra gory look as well. That'd be really cool if I can inspire someone to paint their models all gory. That's awesome. But anyway, I think this is where I'm going to end it. Please look out for more videos because there's tons of more textures and techniques that I would love to show for you guys. I'll probably make another video tomorrow from when you're seeing this and upload it. And yeah, until then, enjoy and happy painting, guys.